Hello and welcome to an overview of the second ranked multiplayer game, and let's start with America first. So we had Canada being played by Christian, expanding on his core provinces and colonizing those that he can, of course. He still can't colonize these regions, and we still have Russia and America there. I'm still waiting for a decision to probably sell Alaska to America. We'll see. Then we had USA expanding on Mexico, taking the cores back. And then we had Mexico, very interesting country and potential big problem in eyes of European powers. Because as you can see, let me just show you, okay, he is over infamy, he is at 60 infamy. And we kinda expected USA to take care of it, but actually they ended up being friends, so there was probably some pre-game deal between those two. Mexico basically gave him cores, and now USA is protecting Mexico, so after we finish a great war in Europe, we might switch our focus to America, and we'll see about that. In South America we had only one great power, basically Brazil, and actually I think Bolivia expanded a bit. They took parts of Argentina, Chile. No, I think, yeah, they didn't expand on Bolivia, so that's status quo basically. So Brazil is still pretty strong there, enjoying prosperity. They still have slaves in their country, 12%. So that's bad. Ideally, he would want to. He would want to make them free, so he can get more immigrants, but we'll see. Then in Asia, something I actually didn't notice during the game, there is a Canadian Asia. So somehow he managed to get his ships to Vietnam and conquer Dynam, and this is, I think, part of Siam. I think Burma was only captured by UK, so there is a Pegu taken by UK. It's an okay province, but not the best one. The best one is probably, let me see, Shan States, because it gets oil in the late game. However, you can't take it because that's their core province actually. I mean their capital province. So you can take it without conquesting them. Oh, they actually have Western presence. Oh, I didn't notice that anyway. So Japan actually westernized and became a great power. He took parts of, what's it called, Borneo, Formosa from China, and part of Korean territory. That might make him few problems later on, but nothing serious at the moment. And then we had, of course, Japan seizing an opportunity to grab his core province from Russia, while Russia was fighting a great war in Europe, so he also took Sakhalin. So Japan is doing quite well, as in 5th place above Russia. That's played by me. So Spotgang doing great with Japan. And that's pretty much it for Asia, or at least Southeast Asia. Netherlands didn't expand too much. I was expecting them to expand on maybe. Okay, they did take Aceh, but then nothing more, and this is not the best province to take. Then we had in Africa, or maybe I should move to Middle East. So we had Persia expanding on Afghanistan, eating them, and then there was some problems with Punjab and Persia. They were in the same war on the same side, but then when they peaced out, they didn't take everything they wanted, so I'm not completely sure what happened there, but they ended not getting everything they wanted, so I'm not sure how they're gonna solve it. Let me check actually. One of them is over infamy limit. Oh, they actually aren't. I guess Punjab didn't take everything they wanted. So Punjab, one of them is allowed to go slightly over infamy, so they can fix it. That should be okay. Then in Middle East we had Arabia being formed, and surprisingly Arabia is actually allied with Ottomans. which are their natural enemies actually, because they have cores from, as you can see, Iraq and other Arabian countries. They're actually now fighting Egypt for their cores, but Egypt is being protected by UK. So it will actually be an interesting war, I think. I don't know. UK did lose some troops to France in previous war, but nothing serious. I still think UK should be able to win this. I don't know. We'll see. It will be interesting. Then, of course, Prussia. I realized that we might not win the first war, so I moved part of my troops to Africa, and actually I did have some serious losses against Egypt, which is quite unexpected. But for some reason, I couldn't get any generals there, and my armies, they took heavy losses fighting Egypt, and eventually we were able to win, taking Sinai and Upper Egypt. Sinai for obvious reasons, making Suez Channel or Canal, and controlling that region later on, and of course Upper Egypt so I can get more prestige. Still not getting it at the moment. I need Egyptian excavations, so it'll need some time to get it, but once I get it I'll have a lot of prestige. And then of course I took Ethiopia. Decent population, decent price. Also getting some cattle and coffee, which is kind of needed for early game and especially for poor population to make them happy. And then rest of the Africa was divided actually. I think that's quite okay. Netherlands taking Somaliland, then Arabia taking their course from Oman, and Tanka was actually... Oh, I didn't notice this. Oh, okay. This is probably taken by Belgium first, and then they released for some reason. Are they over infamy? Oh yeah, they are. Oh, didn't notice that during the game. So why is Belgium over infamy? Oh, anyway. So Spain taking parts of Portuguese colonial possessions and dividing it with Netherlands. Actually, that's quite an interesting. There will be very interesting colonial race in Africa. We have Belgium. I don't actually think Belgium can colonize a lot. They don't have too many naval bases. So it will probably be Spain, Netherlands, UK actually, and I believe France. Now Belgium actually... Oh, Belgium... Okay, that explains it. So Belgium took provinces from Portugal. These are not the best provinces to take unless you can colonize immediately. There are, I think, 2 or 3 provinces that you can colonize instantly. You need, as you can see, just medicine, and you can colonize them. But Belgium doesn't have enough colonial points, so he can't do anything there. And then they actually annexed Sokoto. I took only 1 province, and that's probably the best province. So I was quite lucky to do it while the Belgium had truce with Sokoto, so that's quite okay. Then we had Spain taking, of course, Morocco and parts of Algeria. France allowed it because they weren't actually interested in fighting for Africa for some reason. Actually, that reason being fighting Prussia and being scared of Germany forming. So Morocco is actually quite fine for the moment. They usually get pretty beaten in the early game, but that didn't quite happen in this game. So UK took Tunis, which was quite unexpected. I was expecting Italy or Sardinia to take it, but no, Sardinia was too focused on forming Italy, which is kind of okay choice, but now they actually won't be able to colonize anything because they have no access to Africa. The only country they could take or is probably Transvaal, but they don't have enough infamy to get it. Oh no, actually they do. They're at 0 infamy because they're fighting for course with Austria. So that quite kind of explains it. But still, the only countries they can take are Morocco, Algeria, and Transvaal. Orange is, I think, Let me check. I think it's defended by UK. Oh no, it actually isn't. So maybe they can take it. But all of those are not the best colonial possessions. If you go to the north of Africa, you will get only deserts and quite worthless territories. And then the south of Africa is better, but not that great. As you can still see, still low population, not so precious resources. Like the richest parts of Africa are these around Sokoto, then around Congo, some decent parts, and here. Actually, Ethiopia is quite okay if you need cattle. It's very rich, and of course Egypt. Like all of the Egypt is great. So if you have infamy to waste and you can fight a war against Egypt, just do it. Sorry, Egypt, but that's the truth. Okay, so in Europe, quite complicated situation. So there were pre-made alliances that actually I didn't know before the game. I knew there would be an alliance between France and Russia, and then Prussia and Austria. Austria was supposed to be played by Glorfindel or Johnny, but he had some real life issues, and then William took his place, or assumed, and then Kessel actually also had some real life issues, so he couldn't play Russia from the beginning. It was played by Vincenzo. UK played by Struki, France played by Guren, Spain by I think Fuslier, then Hutchison played Netherlands, Belgium being played by I think Stylish, Italy by German Doctor, Ottomans I'm not sure who, I think too awesome. Did I forget someone? Sweden being played by Butters. Yeah, I actually forgot to mention USA was being played by Marconi, Mexico by Turtle, and Brazil by Gune. I think I probably forgot someone. My apologies, but there were too many people in the channel and I can't remember. Okay, yeah, we have Persia and Punjab. Also, who played Persia? I can't remember. Never mind. Yeah, you can find all the info on forum. So anyway, the first Great War started. Actually, it's not officially a Great War, but it's a big war. So it started between France and Russia on one side, and Prussia and Austria on the other. France declared war on Prussia. It was in the first 2 years of the game, and it was quite expected, but I didn't expect that early. So my economy was completely crap, and then I had it planned with Johnny, but since William took over Austria, we didn't quite manage to make a decent plan on defending in such a short time. So we actually ended up losing, and I peaced out rather quickly because I realized fighting further war would just hurt me more than anything, and it was pointless. So I actually held the line against France in Rhineland, but then Prussia occupied pretty much all of the eastern Prussia and got to Berlin. Austria wasn't able to handle France on the one front and Russia on the other, so we just peaced out. Austria lost East Galicia, which is it does hurt Austria, but it's not as much as it would hurt them if, for example, Russia took Bohemia. So it's kind of okay, but of course it hurts them. So, and France, of course, took Rhineland from Prussia from me. Then something that probably turned Russia on our side is that France decided to actually attack Baden. And Baden was at that time in sphere of Austria so that this was maybe 3 or 4 months after the Franco-Prussian War. So France attacked Baden, which was allied with Austria and Bavaria. So Austria still having a truce with France, but due to defensive war, they were able to join. So Austria actually dissolved alliance with Prussia and formed alliance with UK. So UK joined that war on side of Baden. And actually Baden, Bavaria and Austria were doing quite well until UK joined. Which is quite a paradox because UK actually, I don't know where he landed troops. I know there were a few battles in Dunkirk. Or actually, yeah, well, Dunkirk. And somewhere else. And UK was heavily beaten. So that was quite terrible fights for UK. And due to high war score, France was able to get Baden also. So at that point, Russia decided not to join France in future wars. And what was the reason I decided to declare war on France? Yeah, okay, yeah. So Italy made a stupid move. Italy was formed quite quickly by rebellion. German doctor was quite lucky to get it. So, but I still don't know why would he not take Tunis or anything in Africa. He is in terrible position to colonize, and he's now getting beaten. Like, he decided to declare war on Austria. Yeah, that was actually the reason why we attacked France. So he decided to attack Austria, and France was, I think, still having a truce with Austria. So France couldn't support them, and Italy no, actually Italy feared Austria because Austria dropped from great power. So Austria decided to leave their sphere of influence, and then Italy decided to actually declare war on them to put them back in the sphere. So since I didn't have truce with Italy, I joined on side of Austria, or actually no, was it Austria? Yeah, it was Prussia and Austria against Italy, and then he quickly realized he can't win a war against us, so he peaced out, and at that point we realized, hey, actually Italy has a truce with us, and they're not allied with France, so that means we can actually attack France. And since Austria dropped from great power status, I was able to ally Russia, and together we attacked France. Now, France was actually... now when I think about it, they weren't allowed to do that, but it doesn't matter. It's not a huge deal. So France was defended by Spain and Ottoman Empire. At that time, I think Spain and Ottomans were both great powers, which kinda shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't be allowed to have two great power alliances until 1880s. That's some balancing reasons. I'm not going too far in it, but it doesn't really matter. So because Ottomans are really, their armies are not that great, so they shouldn't be counted as great power there. So it doesn't really matter. So we quickly took care of Ottoman Empire, and they peaced out. So it was now Spain and France fighting Prussia, Austria and Russia. And we managed to hold the line in Rhineland and actually Schlesien. No, that's Schlesien is there. Jesus Christ, what am I talking about? Never mind. So I didn't call Bavaria, Baden and others, actually not Baden, but Württemberg, in a war, because I realized France would have military access through there. But then that might have actually been a critical mistake, because of that Russia wasn't able to move their troops through France, actually through Bavaria and Württemberg, and get to France. So we were actually in a stalemate for some 2 or 3 years. Austria was allowed to slowly push through Switzerland, and we had half of the Switzerland occupied and under our control. And then we were waiting for France to create holes in their defense and try to get past the defense lines. And eventually, due to 2 huge battles in Rhineland, we were able to to get few units through Bavaria and Württemberg and get the Baden under our control, and we actually seized all of the Switzerland and managed to push to the South France and Eastern France. So we ended up controlling like these regions and these regions. But unfortunately, France still had a positive war score because of battles, and he managed to increase Russia's militancy, or actually war exhaustion, to 100%, which is really terrible for them. But it doesn't matter, since at that point we had the war in our hands and we could win it easily. But then we made a critical mistake. We decided to attack France in Rhineland, which they still controlled. They had two brigades, actually not two brigades, but two stacks in Trier, and I think it's was it Saarbrücken or Kreuznach? I'm not sure. Anyway, one of those two of three regions. We attacked and we suffered heavy losses because of tech and terrible generals and everything. And then Italy was out of the truce with Austria, and they decided to declare war on Austria again. So we had to move our troops from France and help Austria fight Italy. Perhaps that is a mistake, but I don't know, maybe it isn't, we'll see though. France was able to reclaim all of their territories now, but the result is that we actually heavily beaten Italy, and Italy only has 66 military score, 91 brigade, but those are all peasants and their armies are really weak. They lost 3 huge battles in Italy, and now they're getting punished for that. Now I tried to persuade Austria and Russia to take nothing from Italy and to just offer them white peace, but they kind of rejected that. So they're going to take something from Italy. I don't know. I still don't know what, but we'll see. Now the issue is that France might be able to win the war. They can't really push into Austria or Prussia or anywhere else. They're just hoping to wait and defend their position, because we are getting no ticking war score and they have no war goals on us. So we are suffering from just staying in this war. But if we somehow manage to push to France again, then we should be able to win it. Now I don't know what is UK going to do there. They're fighting a war against Ottomans. Spain, oh, I forgot to mention, Spain was in the war, but then once they lost most of their brigades, they peaced out. Because their military tech is pretty low, I think. It's only 7, and Italy has also crappy military tech. 9, and then France has, I think, 10 or 11. Yeah, actually they have 12. Austria has, I think, 10 or 11. And Russia has, okay, Austria 11, Russia has 10, I think. Yeah, 10, and Russia has, I think we have 15. Let me check. No, 14, okay, well, that's quite okay. So, it will be quite an interesting game. If we win this war, I'll be able to form NGF, and from that point I don't think we will be fighting any major wars in Europe for some time, because we have to deal with America. Not America as USA, but as continent. Canada, USA and Mexico are becoming too strong. I'll unpause the game for a few moments, just so you can see immigrations. Okay, so Russia peaced out, it doesn't matter. But look at that. Let's increase the speed for a while. So you can see immigrants or immigrations. So Austria is losing 1k, Russia is losing 10k or 11k people. That's huge. Ottomans are also losing 800. I mean, Russia usually is one that lose most of the people and then closely followed by Ottomans. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a moment. Why am I allowed doing Mexico at all? As you can see, Canada is getting 3k immigrants, so USA is getting 2 and 6k, 2.6. Australia, yeah, I forgot to mention Australia, was played by Daniel. Australia is getting 2k also. Australia is doing okay. He didn't take part in any wars, was just focusing on development, which is actually the great choice. I think Austria is doing quite well. And that's pretty much it. So if France or UK decide to attack, I don't know, Canada, USA or Mexico, the first target should be Mexico because they are over infamy limit. Canada and USA are just enjoying their time and fighting in Asia. There might be a conflict between Canada and UK and maybe Japan. I don't know, but Japan shouldn't really be supporting this because those are countries they would most likely expand on. So I don't know. Anyway, if France or UK decides to attack some of the American countries, I am probably not going to attack France because it's not in my interest to weaken France and to make USA, Canada, and Mexico even stronger. If France is too weak or UK is too weak, then there is no naval power that can deal with them. Prussia can be, or Germany can be okay. No, they actually can't. They don't have enough naval bases to really become a great naval power. Ottomans are more likely to become a naval power than Germany if played right. Oh yeah, so after the game, I actually got to know that Sweden actually had a secret deal with France and Russia. So the deal was that they get Finland for free, then they released it. They actually take a decision to abandon Finland, which is actually broken, and I don't know why does it work like that. But anyway, they get sick amount of prestige by that, and they basically become an instantly great power, which is actually a sick thing to do. But something went wrong, and I don't know what happened there. And Sweden is not becoming a great power anytime soon. So if we see Scandinavia, that will be quite some time in a later game. Maybe by some rebellion or simply Sweden taking over Denmark. No, actually they can't do it. So they really need to become a great power somehow. Well, we'll see. So anyway, thanks for watching and have fun.